The right combination of hard workouts, enough mileage, proper recovery are the main factors to running a new personal best, of course. However, an often overlooked, yet critical component to running fast is to perform your best on race day. Unfortunately, I often see mistakes made by fellow runners, which can decrease your performance significantly and avoid you getting the next personal best. To help you get the most out of your training and to maximize your chances of success on race day, let's look at these 3 most common race day mistakes. And maybe even more importantly, you will learn how and why to avoid making these same mistakes at your next race. Number 1 mistake: running too fast at the start of the race. Often, runners get excited, not to mention a little nervous, in the final few minutes before a race. The adrenaline can push you to go out faster than you ever have in training. You should resist this urge. But why is starting faster than your goal race pace a bad thing? There are 2 main reasons for this. The most obvious one, most people already get. If you start too fast or try to bank time, you risk burning out early. Try to keep an even pace through your race and save extra energy for the final stretch to the finish. You can always spare your last push for the end of the race instead of risking a bad race because you blew up too early. The second reason why you should not start out too fast for your goal race pace is because you build a lot of lactic acid up in the start if you go out too fast. And because the intensity of the race doesn't go down like in your training interval or rest, you have to take this lactic acid all the way up to the finish line. During vigorous exercise like sprinting, hard tempos, your muscles make this energy anaerobically, meaning in the absence of oxygen. This happens because oxygen can't get to the muscles fast enough to keep up with the amount of energy the muscles need. Lactate is a fuel source for the muscles and has many important functions. Despite this, when increased acid builds too fast, the muscles get tired and may not be able to contract as effectively. Most people notice this as a burning sensation in the muscles during exercise or your training, or your race. So don't go out too fast, because your muscles will also start to work less efficiently already early in your race. Number 2. Warming up way too soon before your race. One of the most important parts of arriving early is that it allows time for a proper warm-up. You should always do some gentle jogging and drills to get your body ready for the big race. I always do some jumping drills and short strides to get going and get the heart rate up. The only thing I most often see, as well on road races as on track race events, is that people are already doing warm-up 45 to even 60 minutes prior to the start of the race. They are ending up early, already 15 minutes before the start in a busy crowd in front of the start line. This way you will cool down already all the way before the race even starts. My tip is to start your warm-up 30 minutes before your race and go to the start line 5 minutes or latest as possible. Try to do some jumps at the start line as well to keep the muscles warm and your heart rate up. The warm-up is important as well because it raises your heart rate, prepares your muscles for the high intensity workout, aka your race, that's coming. Warming up will slightly increase your core body temperature and heart rate, which speeds oxygen through the body, primes the muscles for hard running, and triggers the neural pathways between your brain and your muscles to improve muscle concentration and power. Because of your warm-up, your body is already more prepared for what's coming, and therefore your oxygen intake is already more efficient when the gun goes off. This way, you start to build lactate a bit slower at the start of your race as well. Another thing I most often see, number 3, no proper fueling strategy. What most runners hit right most often is a proper meal at least 2 hours before your run, so it can digest properly. Also, make sure you are hydrated enough. 1 hour prior to your race, you can take in a last bit of sugar, like some energy bar or a piece of banana. But what I often don't see is a proper energizer. For an important race, I always take some natural dope almost everybody uses on a daily basis, namely caffeine or coffee. To optimize the effect of the caffeine, drink your coffee around 1 hour to 45 minutes prior to your race. Take about 3 to 5 milligrams of caffeine per kilogram of body weight. This is quite a lot, so for proper effects, drink a bit stronger coffee. I use Coca-Cola often as well, because it also contains some last pre-race sugars. I prefer to buy a bottle which I can shake out the gas from, because this can hit your stomach a bit. Here are the 3 main pros of coffee, aka caffeine, before your run. Increased energy. The caffeine in coffee can increase your energy levels, especially if you run early in the morning. Under the effects of caffeine, you may experience an increase in speed and decrease in fatigue. A reduced pain sensation. Caffeine consumption can reduce your sense of pain and discomfort. And last, improved mental alertness. If you have a race around the corner, try to avoid these mistakes I mentioned, and I hope you smash some new personal bests soon. Don't forget to enjoy your race as much as possible. Did you ever make a mistake worth sharing, by the way? Put it down in the comments so we can learn from it. If you still go out there today, have fun and get on the run.